going on, guys? John here, another video. I'm glad to be back. I'm finally feeling better. As you can tell, my voice is better. My son is feeling better, and I appreciate all the people who commented on my Where Was I video. You know, I appreciate all the people looking out for me and wishing well. So I thank you and I appreciate you guys. So it being the first week of August, now's the time where I start prepping for salmon fishing. Fortunately, I haven't really done much bass fishing, as I told you, because of, those reasons. I'm still gonna go bass fishing. I plan on going bass fishing this week. So for now, in this video, this is the gear that I use to catch salmon. So as you've seen from my other videos, I cast for salmon and I float fish with Skein for salmon. As the month of August starts to progress, I'm starting to get ready, right? I'm getting my gear ready. I'm looking at, my baits, my Skein, how much I have, and taking into account what I have to harvest. So as you know, I don't keep very much fish. I mean, if I need Skein for float fishing, I'll keep 1 or 2 females. I do steelhead fish, and I like using eggs under a float, so I'll keep another hen later on. But I mean, pretty much 1 to 3 hens is more than enough to last me over a year. And I do use my eggs throughout the year, right, and into the spring of the next year. I'll talk more about that on the next video, what I use and how I fish for the salmon. So yeah, enough with that talking. Let's get into my setups that I use to catch these massive king salmon. First up, you've seen this combo in my previous videos. This right here is my St. Croix Wild River spinning rod with my Shimano Stratic 4000 HGFK. This is my casting setup. So it's a medium power, fast action, 6 to 12 pound line, 1/4 to 3/4 ounce lures. It's nice, right? It's got good backbone. It's light, right? And I like the medium because when I cast spoons, I don't always use 3/4 ounce spoons. So it has a nice slingshot action when I cast. It's not a light pull, and it allows me to have more of a shock absorber, right? It is a 9.6, right? I like the 9.6 for it. If I could have got a 10 and a half, I would have. Even a medium heavy, being 8 to 17 pound line, is pretty good too. It's not overpowering. I mean, there is in Lake Ontario fish that's over 30 pounds. I've caught them last year. I used to use 15. 15's okay, but I find that if you're fishing around rocks and stuff like that, 15-pound braid will get damaged pretty easily, and I find 20-pound to be a good medium. It's not overkill. You still get a good amount of line into the spool, not too thick to where you get good depth on your baits. So yeah, that's my casting setup, right? Like I said, you've seen it on previous videos. I've even used this float fishing as well before I stepped up my combos for it. So next up is the first of my combos that I use float fishing with Skein. So this one's a bait caster combo. I've used it last year, and when I did use it, I forgot to bring my my GoPro with me. I've caught some fish with it, and the combo is a Abu Garcia Revo 4 winch on a stream side Heritage salmon rod. Not sure if you can see it. Let me move this over. Heritage salmon rod, right? and it's a 9'6", right? Apparently it's a medium fast action. I think it's more along the lines of closer to a medium heavy, rated 8 to 14 pound line. And I have a full spool of 20 pound Berkeley X5. And the reason why I chose the Revo winch over, say, the Corrado 300 was the lightness. It's extremely light. It's like, I think it's like 6.8 or something ounces. I'll get back to you on that. It takes 180 yards of 12 pound mono, which according to the line rating, it should have about 15 to 20 yards more capacity than the 4000 Stratic. And it also has 24 pounds of drag, so it's got a lot of stopping power. But I don't use all of the stopping power because I have I use 10 or 12 pound Drennan leader, right? So Drennan, being as strong as it is, you can overpower a big fish easily with it, but you still got to understand that it's still a 10 or 12 pound rating. And what I like about this rod is the massive guides, right? So it allows you to use bobber stoppers, right? The float stops goes right through the guides with no resistance at all. It's got a the reel has a 5.4 gear ratio. I forgot to mention that. And that gives me a lot of power. Like, this thing is torque, right? So that's why I chose it for salmon. You know, it's a fairly inexpensive combo. I mean, the combo itself, you'll be lucky out the door less than $400, right? And there's a little bit of my blood on the cork. It's dried up now. But yeah, it casts beautifully with an 8 or 9 gram float and the skein. It's got a nice whippy action at the tip. So like I said, you know, like it slingshots the float out. You don't have to force the cast where the skein, there's a good chance that the skein might rip if you force it. So you just use the rod and just lob it and you get good distance with it, as well as accuracy. So up next, is my Shimano Stratic 4000 FL to the Streamside Heritage Salmon Rod. So I got this one last winter around December, and this is a 10'6", as you can tell, rated medium fast action, line 8 to 14. As I mentioned with the bait caster, the guides are nice and oversized, right? Not sure how well you can see it, but it's good for the float stops to go through, right? As you can tell, I have a float stop right here on my Stratic. 20 pound Power Pro to 10 pound Drennan. I tied this leader on, right? For whatever, I always pre-tie my leaders. Snell knot to a single Gamakatsu octopus hook, right, and a nice swivel. But that's not what this video is about. And I'll show you how I rig in my next video. But yeah, this is an extremely smooth reel, the FL. And yeah, like, this is like, for example, the 10'6". Has a really nice parabolic bend, but an extreme amount of backbone. This is for when, kind of like, I'll use this in a dire situation where, say I've been catching nothing but males and I need eggs for steelhead, right? You know, it's getting later in the season, right? And I need to catch eggs for steelhead, as you seen in my video from last fall, right? When I got that big hen. And so this is pretty much my power setup. So last up, but certainly not least, so as you know from my other rod and reel combos, I always like to have high-end rods for whatever species that I fish for. Um, so for steelhead, I have one high-end rod, and for salmon, I have one high-end combo. But for bass, because most of the time I fish a lot of sensitivity, I have a bunch of high-end combos. So, I wanted something extremely light, strong, and high-end, be comfortable to use. So this is where this came in. Right here. So I have a G Loomis IMX with a Shimano Vanquish 4000 XG, and the reel itself weighs just a little over 7 ounces, being a 4000. It's got 12 ball bearings, so it's super smooth, got the torque, and I'm running 20-pound Power Pro, and I use it, like I said, with a 10-pound Drennan fluorocarbon leader. And right here I have a hook keeper. Right, and as you can tell, I still have my hook keeper on it. All right, I got to retie this one. And so the model of this one is the 1165 2S STS-DR. So this is a 9'8" medium heavy, right? Yeah, moderate fast action, so it's very parabolic, and it's still got a bit of backbone. Rated 8 to 17 pound line, 3/8 to 1 ounce lures. I could use this also for casting, right? I may also double duty it for casting, we'll see. But I use this float fishing with Skein, right? And so the STS-DR is salmon steelhead side drift rod. So pretty much it's a side drift rod, kind of like bottom bouncing with Skein, right? But I use it with a float, right? Side drifting, pretty self-explanatory. I've caught a lot of salmon with this combo. Last year, you could see in my videos. I've caught one of the best fighting kings that I've ever caught in my life with this combo. And this is an overall blast to use. It's not heavy. In terms of weight, in terms of power, it's not too heavy, it's not overbearing. I feel like it acts on the cusp of medium to medium heavy, being 8 to 17 pound line, and the way it bends. It's got a very parabolic bend, which I like, and it would work in some areas that require an 8-pound leader. All right. But I digress. Yeah, this is my my high-end, what the hell, I want to have some fun combo. I couldn't be any more happier with it. The drag is extremely smooth. I have zero complaints. I also sealed it with cork sealer, so that way the skein juice doesn't go into the cork. Right. So far I've kept it pretty clean. I do bring a rag with me. But yeah, so those are my combos. So yeah, I'm gonna make a video of what I use to catch them, and how I fish for them. It's coming up next. So yeah, I appreciate you you watching, appreciate you joining me and listening to me. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll catch you in the next video.